Hello again, you wonderful person, and welcome back to the Japan Game Junk podcast, where we will discuss finding retro and otherwise good game deals throughout this country. And now I'm happy to present one of the best stores that I know in this entire land. And it's a place where, centrally located by the way, central Japan, Chubu area, where people will make the pilgrimage if they have the chance. I have purchased many things here over the years, and indeed, oftentimes I'll make the drive. It's about a 2-hour drive on the paid highway, but maybe twice that on the free roads, but it's worth it to peruse the stock they have there. And before even starting, I will say there is one item there that they do have, which I will not say here because if anyone happens to hear this, and they live anywhere near the area, maybe some people might wish just to go and purchase it just to resell it or something. And it's been there for years and in the case, and maybe if anyone just goes there to take a look, they might see it. But if you don't actually look for it, it's hard to find. But yeah, there's one item there that is such a good deal, yet still pricey enough where I debate whether I should buy it or not. I'm thinking one day I will. It's been years sitting there, and yeah, I'll go there and try it out, and if it works, I'll buy it someday, I'm sure. Unless you get it first. Anyway, this is the Mandai Shoten store, the main store, the original base store in Yamanashi Prefecture. I believe it's Kai City of Yamanashi Prefecture. Basically, if you look for the main store, the Honten for Mandai Shoten, this is it. Now, recently, the Mandai Shoten stores have largely been converted where much of their room has been changed into crane games, which are fun as they are, but luckily this store did not convert much of their game section into crane game use, as what happened in the Iwatsuki store, for example, in Saitama City. But this one does indeed still have its great game section, including retro game section. Things I've purchased there before, including, they do include the Famicom Disk System I use the most. I did buy there. They do have someone there who repairs them and actually sells them working as opposed to not working. And also many, many games for the Mark III and the PC Engine I found to be very cheap here as well. So just to go through things that I found, one thing that was good is 3 DS games, not a mystery box, but complete games in their cases. And they're randomly put together, but yeah, 500 yen for 3 complete in box with the manual DS games, and you can see what they are. And some of them are actually very good deals. Yeah, so, you know, some first-party titles and whatnot, and great games are included there in this in here, and you can select from various different bundles there. One thing I thought was strange was I remember back in the 90s and the early 2000s, people had their big binders of CDs, you know? You take the CD out of the case and you put them in the big binder and you carry your big thing of CDs with you. You might have 50 or 100 CDs with you. And sometimes you would go to a pawn shop and these would be for sale because someone would just steal them and then sell them later on once they could. And yeah, anyway, here something that looks very similar. PS3 games, 20 games, no case, just they're in someone filled up a 20 sleeve CD case with PS3 games, and I guess they threw away their cases. They sold it on to the Mandai Shoten, but 20 for 2,900 yen. So that's pretty decent if the games there are your style. Not only the DS, but also the PlayStation 3. With the box and manual had their set of 3 for 500 yen, and you could choose from them, of course. One thing I did purchase that was, you know, I don't actually have this game as of yet. You know, it's the Steelbook, where you can put in your Last of Us 2 for PS5, and it's the Steelbook for the game. And yeah, it was 100 yen, so I got it. Because one day I'll get the game and I'll put the game in the Steelbook. There you go. Also of note, a 2DS LL, which is XL outside Japan. One version, which is no box or anything, just the unit itself. The cute Minecraft Creeper version was 19,800 yen. And the boxed all-inclusive Metal Slime version I believe actually that was a 3DS XLL, I'm sorry. Or the Hello Kitty version. Both of those are 29,800 yen, a bit pricier than I would have expected for others. And there's the computer making a weird tone for some reason. But the most expensive being a 3DS LL Super Famicom version. No box or anything, but 50,000 yen, as it is a bit rare. I was surprised to see a Dance Dance Revolution Pocket LCD game. I did have one of these when I first came to Japan in 1999, but it was the Beat Mania version. But, it's like a little LCD screen with the moving targets to hit the buttons at the right time. Yeah, Dance Dance Revo, 2,000 yen for one. No box or anything, but it looks like it was in good condition. Also in good condition, a Barcode Battler, kind of a rarer white version, was there for 1,500 yen. And then, as I mentioned before, you had the 3DS games, or the 3 PS3 games. Well, you can get 4 Nintendo 64 games, no box or manual or anything, and you can't see what 2 of them are, but get 4 N64 games for 500 yen as well. The glass case did have quite a bit of note. Various games, between 3 and 8,000 yen for your PlayStation or your Saturn and PlayStation 2 and whatnot. Quite a bit was there, including the trombone, I think it is, koron, whatever. It's the, what is it, the Mega Man spin-off where you have trombone, I think, and then all these weird little characters. And they look like minions, except they look like Lego minion guys, whatever. Anyway, it's 4,000 yen, and that's cheaper than most places. They had a huge number of Famicom Disk System games, as little as 300 yen for sports games, all the way up to expensive. But yeah, it also had, because I said before that there's a guy here who knows how to fix these, that pretty much anything Famicom Disk System related will be working there, whether it is the system or the game. You can trust them for Famicom Disk System more than any other store I know of. They also had a Zavix system. So this is like an old 16-bit system, but based on sports. And you put in your game, and it also had the sports equipment. So here it had the Zavix along with the boxing gloves that it connected the system, and you box. It's like kind of Wii Sports, but only for sports. It's like a Wii, but only for sports. And every game had its own, equipment that came with to make it feel like a real sport. But Zavix is one of the few systems I don't have, and I probably will never get because it's, just doesn't seem fun. They also had quite a few sound things for the connect to your system, like the Sound Slayer from Panasonic, which was 7,000 yen used, which is meant for your surround sounding and voice chatting and all that stuff. Lots of fun there. And also they had quite a few LCD games. Game & Watch are the most famous, but from Epoch. Also, they made quite a few. And there were a few number here that were in good condition, including one Doraemon system, which is a kind of a ripoff of a Game Boy, where the LCD games, they slide into the system. Kind of similar to the Game Child, if you've ever seen that on the Ashens channel. The Game Child. The Epoch in Japan made their own kind of version of that, basically, but this one has Doraemon all over it, which was interesting. They also had a lot of Game Gear stuff. The 4 Game Gear Micros and the big window thing all being sold together for 38,000 yen, which is quite a bit pricier, much more than it was when it was new. But they had a Magic Knight Rayearth red Game Gear that was working, and an AC adapter for 15,000 yen, which is actually a pretty good deal. And they also had a Swan Crystal, 9,000 yen, very cheap these days, but with lots of scratches on the screen, so maybe that's something that you can get and repair if you need. What else? The last thing I was going to mention was the the item I mentioned before I don't want to say because maybe people will go get it. But anyway, this indeed is a wonderful store. Everyone should go there, whether it's for just browsing or for buying or even for crane games. So much great stuff in the Mandai Shoten main store in Yamanashi. Well worth a visit, and truly you can spend hours there and have a lot of fun. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great day. I hope you enjoyed.